Carroll, bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
Hello and welcome to a bonus edition of Ringing the Blues. On this episode we have the traditional FA Cup poem by OilySailor, recited by Ballroom Bill Turnbull. But first, yesterday I caught up with Wycombe manager Gareth Ainsworth ahead of the Preston North End FA Cup tie. It involved a dodgy internet connection, 4 separate phones and some audio smoke and mirrors, so hopefully it sounds okay. We talked FA Cup, players coming back from injury, coronavirus and the January transfer window. This interview was recorded in the window between OilySailor finishing his poem and Josh Knight extending his loan deal from Leicester City. So pretend you don't know about that yet. Gaz, FA Cup, a chance to distract yourself away from the league campaign, and I guess you fancy running the cup.
Yeah, definitely. It's you say distract yourself, but it's another game, Phil. And I think that over the years as a player, playing in all the different cups, and God knows how many names they've had, but and then the FA Cup and the League Cup and the league itself. As a player, I don't really remember thinking, right, this is the cup, this is a different type of game. I think it was just go out there and win, no matter what game it is. So people say distraction, it's probably to them and to the outside world, but to us, it's a game we want to win. There's not going to be too much rotation because I can't really do that too much, and we want to win it. I want to give the fans a cup run. I want to give the players a cup run and the staff. But ultimately, winning breeds winning. If the defeat wouldn't be nice. After a win and a defeat, it'd be nice to get back on the winning trail. After Saturday, which I thought was a very strong team against us.
You pushed Preston along all the way for a 2-2 draw. Unlucky not to win at Deepdale back in December. It's a good opportunity soon after to go one better.
Yeah, definitely. We had chances on that day as well. I remember us missing a couple of real golden opportunities, which I thought would have changed the game. Preston obviously came strong at the end and threw the Alamo sort of at us, and it was a game where I think, wow, we should have won that one, really. I know Alex Neil picks up points, but I don't think it's a team that are a million miles away from us. I think we're competitive in most games now, Phil. Barring Middlesbrough and Barnsley in the last 10 games, I think we've been right in them all, and Preston included. So again, I'll be looking to be strong, to be attacking as we always are, and I say I'd love to deliver a cup run. I'd love to stay in the Championship, and both of those things are still alive.
Ryan Tafazolli and Uche Ikpeazu are back starting games. That must be, they've made a big impact, haven't they? Yeah,
we're in the January transfer window now, and 2 players that signed in the summer transfer window have just about got fit, and it's been tough, It's one of those things. Ryan did his ankle ligaments against Swansea and played through absolute pain for that game for us, and really, he's put himself out for a couple of months with that. It shows what a tough character he is, but also it's just super unlucky for Wycombe. Uche, again, has not played a great deal up in Scotland, comes down. The intensity of what we do here probably caught him out a little bit, and again caught a couple of things, and it was tough for him as well. But safe to say, both of them are fully fit now, back. I think Uche's showed what he can do, and Ryan had 2 goals in the last 2 games from 2 new signings. It's been great. So I feel like January window signings rather than summer ones, and that's just fine because we've got a big second half of the season coming up. We've got a big game on Saturday, and I'm sure both will be involved in the squad come this weekend.
Is it frustrating that they've not been involved? Because looking at the bottom of the league, but in touch, if they'd have been around a bit more, would you be looking at thinking, actually, we'd be a lot higher in the table here? Yeah,
frustrating for them. I'll never be frustrated. I was out a long time. I was lucky enough to get a move to the top level, and that got really scuppered by a groin injury I had that kept me out for a year. So I understand the frustrations that they must have been going through. I'll never have a go at people who are injured. I know at this club that nobody would ever chuck one in or feign an injury or anything. They're all serious, desperate to try and play in this first team. So frustrating for them. I'll take the frustration, but I'll turn it into positives, and we got a chance to develop other players and look at other things. But the big positive is, like you say, they're back for the second half of the season. I still think we're 6 or 7 points shy due to referees' decisions and things that have gone against us. So all this for me now is positive going forward. I'm really looking forward to the second half of the season. But huge cup game on Saturday, third round. We don't often get almost a buy into that, which we've earned the right to do, and looking forward to delivering a cup run to the owners, to the fans, and to my staff and the players.
You mentioned the January transfer window. You've already made a bit of business already. Admiral Musqui on loan from Leicester, a striker. What can you tell us about him?
Addy comes with highly recommended. We've watched his footage. He scores goals that we haven't been scoring at the moment, between the sticks, in between that penalty spot and the goal, in that area there where we've had chances and we just failed to put them away, or somebody's not been there. He seems to have this instinctive knack of being around there and scoring these tap-ins and scrappy goals, which I think are fantastic goals, almost Paddy Madden-like, at Fleetwood when he always pops up in the right place. It's not coachable, that. It's sort of an instinctive thing, and we've been working hard to see if we can get someone in who can do that. Obviously, with the Leicester connection, with Josh Knight being on loan, we had some good contacts there. Andrew Howard's worked hard on that one, and Rob and Pete have backed me 100% in getting him in. And he won't be the last. We're trying to get a couple more in the January transfer window. We have been shy of goals. I can't deny that. But we have created chances. We stat it quite well with Josh Hart, and chances are there. It's just sticking them in the net, really, and keeping clean sheets, keeping them out the other end. It's not rocket science, this game, but you've got to get the right personnel to do that. Hopefully Addy can add to our attacking prowess, and like I say, with Uchi firing now, Gareth McCleary looking super fit, and Horg's very dangerous, Fred, Scott Cash, we've got a plethora, Alex Samuel, so really, really pleased of what we've got up top, and like I say, the business may not be done there. Goals will keep you in this division, and intend to score more in the second half of the season than we have in the first.
At the other end of the pitch, a player you've just mentioned, Josh Knight, his loan spell expired on Sunday.
Yeah.
Nothing's been announced by either club or the player. Is that because you're looking to keep him?
Oh, there's been a lot of rumours flying about. I'll say that, but you know me, Phil. You've tried to pry things out of me for 7 years now, and I'll still say we're keeping that close to our chest. I intend to keep the best players at this place, and Josh Knight obviously was a good performer in the first half of the year. If we can keep him, brilliant. If not, we've got backup options. But again, hopefully there'll be another surprise as well in there. But it's not going to be millions of pounds, believe me. Rob Couhig has been unbelievable. We've had chats. He's been willing to put his hand in his pocket and break the transfer record, which has stood for so long for a club like this. It's crazy, but sometimes agents get involved and other clubs, and it's just difficult sometimes. We can't bring the top players in. We can't bring a championship striker who gets 20 goals in the championship a year, because he'll be on £25,000 a week and cost £10 million. Wycombe can't do that, but what we can do is sign potential. We can get in your Alfie Mawsons, your Eberici Eases, your Josh Knights, and your players who can go on to bigger and better things, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we always do. Probably we've just got a bit wider of a pool of talent now, because we're championship, because people will launch a championship now. We can take advantage of that, but again, it's always tough here, but I love it, I do, and I won't take one day for granted.
I want to talk to you a bit about coronavirus testing as well, because it's been announced that from January the 11th there's going to be twice weekly testing now funded by the PFA. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah,
it's brilliant that we can get twice weekly tested. I want the important people in the world to be twice weekly tested as well. We seem to be very privileged in football. But if football is a big part of keeping everyone positive and that feel-good factor while everyone's in lockdown of keeping this beautiful game going, then that's great, and the PFA putting the hand in the pocket again. You know, they've got plenty of money, I've been told. So it's good that they've put their hand in their pocket to do that for the 72 FL clubs. You know, it's really important. We keep everyone healthy, but not just football players. Let's keep everyone healthy, because I want my fans back. I want everyone safe, all my friends and family, and likewise, I'm sure everyone in the country's reiterating that statement. Let's do it right, because I would really, really want people to come back to normal life. Football, brilliant, crowds back, but at the end of the day, you know, there's bigger things. You know, people dying is the biggest thing, and we've got to stop that. So, as long as the important people are getting tested as well, then that's what matters to me.
Over 50 games have been called off in the EFL. More testing will equal more positive results being found. Can you see a point where we have to have a circuit break in football?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they'll do in that. You know, I think there is more. What am I saying? Strategies and contingency measures put in place. You know, I'm hoping that the new strain doesn't take over and it's just a little spike and goes back down again. You never know, Phil. You know, it's you know, all I can say is that in-house here, I'm proud of what my medical staff have done. You know, we've worked very hard, and Kian, our head of medical, is you know, has been like a bear with a sore head sometimes, but he's done the right things by keeping everyone safe and everyone's social distance. I'm actually talking to you with a mask on right now, so we are doing it seriously here, and I'm sure everyone else is as well. Maybe we've got a little bit lucky and not as many positives as everyone else, but I just hope that they can keep football going. I know there's the derby thing going on this weekend, which seems very strange, but yeah, we'll see if there's any more things like that happen. It's a tough one, you know. It really is a tough one, and there's a lot more qualified people to talk about it than me. I'll just keep my club safe, and hopefully we can keep everyone in the Wycombe area safe and healthy.
Well, I'm about 30 miles away, so I'm taking social distancing seriously here on the phone too. Just one more question on coronavirus. Lots of games have been called off, as we know. Just so fans can get an idea of this, I mean, Wycombe have had one confirmed case at least, because Uche Ikpeazu revealed he had coronavirus. How many positive cases in a squad does it take for a club to be able to call a game off?
You know, I don't know the answer, Phil. I don't know the answer to that. You know, it depends obviously how big your squad is. Is it a percentage? Is it a health matter where it would be a potential of spreading it, or is it because the squads are weakened? I don't know the answer, honestly. The rules seem to change daily, weekly sometimes, you know. All we can do is follow the guidelines that are put in place by, like I say, better qualified people than me. You know, I won't be sure. I'm sure if some big players get it, you know, it weakens squads, but the smaller players are just as important. You know, it's a crazy situation we're living in at the moment. I just want to keep everyone positive and say there is light at the end of the tunnel. Let's just get through it together.
The OilySailor FA Cup Poem. It's been a long-held Chair Boys tradition, and it usually appears just before the first round proper. But because this year Wycombe is straight into the third round, it's here in January. So that means a whole calendar year without an OilySailor poem. How very 2020. Now, this season is the first time Wycombe haven't played in the FA Cup first round since 1989-90, where they lost in the fourth qualifying round 4-1 to Stafford Rangers. So the OilySailor FA Cup Poem 2020-21, recited by W.R.J. Turn.
The Ballad of the Swan by OilySailor. By a river in the valley, by a tree of solid oak, lives a wizard in a hut, Swan Man, just a bloke. He calculates the future, He reconstructs the past. Football is his passion. He does sums really fast. Multiplication he rates. Addition, yeah, it's fun. Subtraction is a theory, but division is the one. Take a number, any number. Okay, 14 will do. Divide it how you want it. I'd recommend by 2. You're left with dear old 7, like Dave Carroll on the wing. But what about 33? That number has a ring. Divide by 3 and it's Steve Guppy gliding on the flank. 350k from Newcastle. Let's chuck it in the bank. Players leave the Wycombe. It's painful, but it's true. D'Souza to Peterborough. Barry Fry on YouTube. Nah, you ain't going to get that, Miggs. You sure? 10 grand for 30 goals, all comps. Barry, please, no more. Calculate that, rural wizard, magician in the tree. And while you're there, find an algorithm that can mend Sean Devine's knee. But the wizard, he's busy. He's painted his mud hut white, a swan painted crudely, barely picked up in the light. I can't do my sums now, he sobs. Something has come up. Wycombe are too powerful. They've been further in the cup. Oh, Swan Man, I whisper quickly, is there heartache? Is there sadness? Why, yes, he groans. These numbers, they're crazy. It's utter madness. The Swan Man, the wizard, the hero writhing in his nest. He thought he knew the football. He thought he'd clocked the best. Dividing sums, dividing hearts, his calculator weeps. This isn't right. It makes no sense, he roars in lieu of sleep. I catch his eye, a sorry sight, and understand the fear. He never thought he'd see Wycombe in the second tier. 3 weeks later, I walk back through the valley of despair. The Swan Man, wizard charlatan, has chosen a new lair. His hut is empty, the roof caved in, a plate of uncooked maize, a poster, Alan Smith smiling, they detest my London ways. Oh, Swan Man, how I miss you. Although your maths were poor, I found you a brand new number, 1.74.
Right, that's your drop of culture for this year. Many thanks to OilySailor, Bill Turnbull and Gareth Ainsworth. Wycombe take on Preston North End Saturday, 3 o'clock, third round of the FA Cup. Come on, you Blues.